What's up, everybody? This is Jose from Southern Life. On today's video, we're going to be driving through Bradenton, and I'm going to give you guys a quick summary of what's going on in the B-Town to the E-Town to the D-Town. So the first thing I want to tell you is no Katie today. She's out getting her nails done, and we did get a puppy for her. We got a little Bichon Frise puppy, and it will be a service animal. It is not a pet, and it's already doing its magic and helping Katie. So Katie may be off video more moving forward than in the past because she's got some health complications that we're not going to get into. But at the end of the day, if you care about her, just show your love and support on the channel. And as far as details about her health, all that's going to be private. So she's been a huge part of the channel, and hopefully in the future she'll continue to be part of the channel. But she's really going through some crap right now for health, and she wants to stay private about it. So I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering what's going on with Katie, and her channel is no longer up. Again, she just wants some privacy with her health. She lost 100 pounds recently. That's been overwhelming, and hopefully she'll continue losing weight and improving. But life, as you guys know, is stressful, and there's no need to put your dirty laundry on the internet. Real estate prices in Florida. I'm going to make a video talking about a few real estate markets that I think are still vastly overvalued. And I mean, there's different cities that act in different ways. For example, right now on the West Coast, prices are plateauing. San Francisco, Oakland, California, places like that, like the prices are plateauing. It means they're not going to go up any higher. Some cities, prices are outright plummeting. Bradenton, Sarasota, Naples, Fort Myers, Cape Coral, in the toilet. Tampa as well. Not to the same degree, but definitely plummeting. So, why are prices plummeting in Southwest Florida? Lots of different reasons. But, moving forward, if you're thinking about buying a house in Florida, what you need to know is that there's a few markets that are just vastly overvalued. What is affecting prices of real estate in Florida today is very different than what affected prices in the past. People have caught on to infrastructure issues with the state, with our YouTube channel being one of the prime red flag waivers about the fact that a house with a septic tank can't be worth as much as a house that doesn't have it. Now, that's always been a factor in real estate, but a lot of out-of-state buyers were not really aware of what they were getting. As prices correlate, places that lack infrastructure are falling behind on basic utilities, don't even have it to begin with, are definitely going to take the biggest hit. Lehigh Acres, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, some parts of Naples. And Naples is relative because in Naples it's a rich people's market. So if a mansion goes from being worth, I don't know, $3 million, now it's worth 2.5, oh well. Most of us don't have dollars into the millions to buy those houses to begin with. So it's not like a realistic real estate market. But, for example, take Lehigh Acres, a place like that doesn't even have infrastructure. No, nobody's going to buy there. Places like Lehigh, Marion Oaks, Port LaBelle, those places are going to be definitely having to correct themselves and flooded with inventories. And today I was on Facebook and Lehigh Acres group, Hispanic Facebook group. An onslaught of foreclosures are apparently coming. People are not making enough money to pay their mortgages. It's the reality, okay? Incomes in Fort Myers, I think, have declined. And that's a trend that I've noticed. It's been harder over the last few months. I've gone through serious economical hardships in Florida the last few months. So have many other people that I know and that I'm talking to. So it's not a secret. People are requesting credit extensions on their credit cards because they don't have enough money, even though their credit cards are maxed out. So let's just go through some of the things that are happening here in Florida more often than not. Depending on what industry you work in, you will have a different idea about what's going on. But for example, people that have their credit cards maxed out are extending credit limits because they don't have money, even though they're already maxed out. It's a pretty sad thing, but hey, it's where we are, you know. Is it sad? Yes. I mean, look at this. It's 4 o'clock on 64. Are you seeing this? There's nobody out here. Like, if you can't see the economical hardships that have befallen Florida, sir, you blew a stop sign. We're going to give you a warning this time because I'm not a police officer, but next time I will arrest you if I am a police officer. This is 64 in Bradenton. Like, you can't make this crap up. I mean, if you know, you know. And depending on what industry you work in, you have a different idea of what's going on. In fact, get in the comment section. I work in this industry. This is what I'm seeing. So, I'll give you guys a few examples. People are pulling extensions on their credit cards, even though they're maxed out because they need money to keep going, just to, keep going by. And the banks have to extend it because they're like, well, okay, this person has a car loan with us or they have a mortgage with us, and now they need $10,000. We got to give it to them because they already owe us $300,000, and if they're going to pay us the $300,000 that they owe us, they can't be in economical hardship. So people are digging themselves into debt. People are maxing out their debt and then having to extend it as well. It makes somewhat compliant, and for some individuals, that they recognize that people are not able to pay their debts. Imagine somebody owes you money and they ask for more money because now they're in a bigger hole than what they were in before. Congratulations. That's not the only scenario. A lot of people have been requesting their auto loans to be extended. People are asking for, give me a month or two. Banks are giving people 90 days. They're like, hey, here's 90 days. Get your crap together. We'll give you 3 months. And again, if somebody has a car loan with you, they owe you $50,000 for a car and they can't pay it, it's in the bank's best interest to extend that loan to make sure that the person pays it eventually. Like, let's help this person. Let's give them a few months of car payment relief so that they're able to get their crap together, so that they're able to pay the car. Because if we don't give it to them, then we're going to end up with a car we don't want in a market where we can't sell it. And then they also know that, well, that's more interest because, annual percentage rates. If you skip a few car payments, you still owe the same amount of money, so they're getting more interest in the same time period. So it's profitable for them to do that. Not only is it profitable in the long run, but it also ensures the stability of their loans. Mortgages, foreclosures are coming. People are on Facebook in the Lehigh Acres group talking about foreclosures coming. It's not a secret. This is in the works. It's happening to a lot of people, and inventory is already flooded. Now, there's a few really bad economical indicators that haven't blown up in Florida yet, like when people start to sell their dump trucks. Oh crap! I ended up in this gas station. Oh, hopefully I don't get robbed while I'm here. This is a crappy gas station. What happened, player? Oh man, he got him 22. I'm 6 and dog. Oh snap, dog. Oh snap, you got them snowflakes, dog. What's happening, boy? Get them snowflakes. All right, let's get back on track. So, yes, people are requesting extensions on their mortgages as well. And what are you going to do? If you're a bank and somebody has a mortgage and they can't pay it and they ask for an extension, you probably want to give it to them because it's a 30-year commitment, and, well, let's get over this little hurdle. It's happening a lot. Quite a bit. Yeah, buddy. So people are in economical hard turds right now. It's not a secret. Things are not looking good in Florida. A lot of people are having to take those requests. And like I said, depending on what you're doing right now, you know what's going on. And if you are one of those people struggling right now, there's a lot of things you can do. You may not know this, but if you're leasing, if you have a lease contract, now you really got to gamble it, but it's a possibility. If you have a lease and you can't afford it anymore, like a rent, and you got somewhere else you can go that's cheaper, you can talk to the people and say, hey, I'm not going to pay the rent this month. I don't have the money. And many times they can give you a 30-day extension on the payment, or they may just break up your lease if you give them a good review or something. Maybe they can put that apartment back on the market. If you just walk into the office and say, hey, I can't pay my rent, my credit, I'll give you guys a bad review. I don't know, but if you're able to give you guys an example from personal experience, I was renting a place in Lakewood Ranch, a really expensive place, and I was like, hey, I can't pay the rent. What happens next? They didn't answer me. One person didn't want to help me, so I went to the next person. I told the next person, I said, hey, I don't have the rent. You ain't getting it. On top of that, since I ain't got the money, I'm gonna have a whole bunch of homeless people moving with me, and it's not gonna be a fun ride. I don't have the money, and we still got a lease. We got a few more months to go. We've been here for many years. You wouldn't want a review from somebody saying they've been here so many years. You know what I mean? And eventually, one person didn't want to help me, but the next person did help me. And it didn't go against my credit. I broke my lease. I got out of my lease. And it was on good terms. But I let them know I ain't got no money. Like, it ain't happening. Now, we can do this the easy way, we can do it the hard way. And I do not give a crap. Not only do I not have the rent money, but you're going to have to evict me. And on top of that, I'm going to have homeless people moving with me. So we can do this the easy way or the hard way. And I'm going to give you a bad review off the get-go. And the one person didn't want to do it, but I talked to another person at the office with a little bit more hierarchy, and they did it. So it's worth a try, because you can get out of a rent you can't afford if you're in a lease. There's a lot of rent availability right now that's more affordable. But if you're in a lease, you can get out of that lease. You can clean that apartment. And the other thing you can do too is you can have like your lease, like if you're on the last month of your lease, you can have them prorate the last month. For example, let's say you need to get out of your lease, you're struggling, you can't get out of your lease, you tell them, hey, I gotta get out on the 30th, but I'm ready to go on the 1st, so there's 29 days that this apartment's gonna be empty. Can you prorate it? So you're not breaking your lease, you're just prorating the last month of the lease from 30 days to 21. So you're still paying a day or 2 or 3 of that month, but you're prorating it. There's another way you can get out of a lease early if you have to. So let's say your rent's due, you gotta come up with $3,000. You don't have $3,000, but you got $500. You can say, hey, can we prorate it? That way you're not breaking the monthly contract. You're still paying that monthly contract. You're just prorating what's left of it. And that can be very helpful to people right now that are moving because of affordability. So that's one thing you can do. Like, let's say you're on your last month of your lease, you don't have the money. What you can do is you can prorate it. Like, you're not breaking the lease because you're still complying with the last month, but you're prorating. Right now in Florida, a lot of places were offering 2 months of free rent, but that is no longer the case. So that is expired. That is no longer the case. That was going on for a while. For a long time, you could get 2 months of free rent. My new place that I moved to did it, but that's not going to go on forever. That was a summer special. The snowbirds are coming back. The students are going back to school, so those people that are asking me about the 2 months of free rent, that thing is kind of like coming to an end. A lot of places are still offering it. You got to look around. But what they're going to do, most places, is you have to like prorate the first month. So like if you got moving on 30th, you're actually going to move in on the 28th, prorate the first month for like a few days, and then the second and third month. So let's say you're moving in, but you don't have any money. Listen carefully what you can do, people. You're moving into a new apartment, but you don't have money. They're going to give you 2 free months, but usually you have to pay the first month. So what do? Scratching your head, what do I do? Because the first month you move into your new place, you have to pay the first month. So then once I give you 2 months of free rent, it's the second and the third month that are free. The first month will never be free. So what you do is, the first month, prorate it. Pay 3 or 4 days of the first month, and then the second and third month, which is the ones that are actually free, will be up next. So you will, in theory, just be paying for the prorated first month, and then the second and third are free. So if you do that on the way out, and you do that on the way in, you could save yourself $3,000 or $4,000, and that's one thing that I did to help alleviate my move that was kind of stressful. So right now, that's kind of what's going on for the most part. There's a lot of people that are struggling to pay their rent, pay their leases, contracts, mortgages, all that crap. Another thing you can do if you're going through financial hardships right now is you can get deposits back. Like, let's say when you got with FPL or whatever co-op you're with, if you've been there for 3 or 4 years, you can call them and say, hey, I've been with you guys for 4 or 5 years. Can I get my deposit back? Some places will do it, some places won't. So like, let's say you got an electric bill, you got into an electric co-op 5 years ago when they requested a $500 deposit. You call them and say, hey, I've been paying you guys for 5 years now. Tell them you're going to be moving soon, even if you're not. Can I get my deposit back? And they may refund your deposit even before you move, because there's no need for a deposit. You've been with them for a while, and you've always paid. These are the types of measures people are taking right now, because people are just trying to get to the next month. It's not that people aren't going to make it and continue to pay their bills. It's that people are struggling to pay their bills. Now, pay attention. Today's a weekday, and it's 4 o'clock. This is supposed to be peak traffic hour. And take a look at this drive on 64. 64 is a fairly congested highway. Okay? This leads to Parrish and Lakewood Ranch on the north end from Bradenton. So this is supposed to be one of the busiest corridors here. I chose 64 for a reason. I could have taken you guys down 70. Could have taken you guys down University or Fruitville. I chose 64 because it's known for congestion. And take a look at this on a weekday at 4 o'clock, and we are sliding through here. So that should give you an idea that Florida is still empty. It is still the depth of the worst off-season we've ever had. And I hope that these ideas that I'm giving you guys can help you if you are currently in a bad situation. The people that are still pressuring other people that they should have a house, personally, I don't care to have a house, don't want to have a house, don't care for the responsibility. I like the flexibility of getting up and moving if things don't work out. It's been actually very convenient not having the obligation to a house, because I've been able to hop around. If I need a bigger apartment, I can get it. If I need a smaller apartment, I can get it. There's a lot of flexibilities with being in a rent. My rent that I have now gives me the option for $3,000 I can move out. So let's say right now I'm leasing. A house comes on the market that I want. Okay? I'm leasing. I'm in an apartment rented. Tranquilo. A lease comes up. Renew it or not? Renew it. Now a house hits the market that I really want. Or now prices drop. Now interest rates are better. I can move on those situations because I'm in a rent. If you are in a house, you don't have the flexibility. So if right now the market shifts and opportunities come about, I'm ready to go. My credit's good. I'm able to do it. So if right now the interest rates drop, prices drop, like let's say right now we hit a recession. Well, we're already in a recession if you didn't know that. They don't want to name it, but we're in a recession. We're in a housing bubble and we're in a recession. And we're just about to slide off the tip of this bubble and see how far down it goes. Some places, like out west, Seattle, Portland, mostly on the west coast, they're plateauing off. In other words, they went up a hill on prices, but they're plateauing. That's not happening here on this coast. In the south, that you don't hear this term anymore, the Sun Belt. How stupid does that sound now, right? Because these are now the worst. Austin, Birmingham, Fort Myers. I bet you won't hear anybody say the Sun Belt anymore. What happened to that term, right? The famous Sun Belt are now actually the places with the biggest declines. L decline, baby. L decline. So the Sun Belts. What happened to those places, right? Interestingly enough, talking about Sun Belts, all these cities are now dropping, fading away. It's going to be a huge correction, if you want to call it that, if not a price bubble, correction, yeah. All up and down the East Coast. Is it going to be like that in, let's say, San Francisco? Probably not. Even if they lose 15% of prices, okay, so a house in San Francisco and Oakland goes from $900,000 to $700,000. There's still a whole $700,000 left in that house value. The problem is that over here in Fort Myers, a house that's $300,000 might have to go down to $140,000 before somebody buys it now. So it's going to be a very distinctive situation over here on this side of the East Coast, particularly the South, not to mention the state of Florida. So a few places, I'm going to make a video coming soon, are really going to take the brunt of this crap. I mean, really. And we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but you'll be seeing soon something interesting in Florida's real estate market. There's a long way to go for a lot of these places. And I mean a long way to go. Florida has a long way to go. In some places, like off the top of my head, San Carlos Park, people are paying $500,000 for a new house in San Carlos Park. Not that people won't pay $500,000 to live in Florida, they will, but not in San Carlos Park. There's something about that doesn't make sense to me. There's a long way to go. Somebody's paying it, perhaps. Definitely isn't going to be me. Checking out from Bradenton, Florida. I hope you guys liked today's video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. And if you know a place in Florida, be specific now, y'all, where it's just ain't adding up, hit me up. Let's get into it. Checking out from Bradenton, Florida.